Yeah, you guys are setting it up. I'm responsible for, kind of, I don't want to say running it, but I mean, Tony, these are all my new friends, and I don't have a lot of friends. So this is where you're going to find me in the Discord. We're going to get, the link out there, the invites, approve everybody, and then you're going to find me in there pretty much all the time. And what you can do is come on in and start chatting with me. I'll have more picks, more analysis, more steam, injuries, all that. Pretty much where I'll be hanging out while I watch the games too. So maybe even come in with some audio there and narrate what's going on. Maybe some live in play stuff. We'll see. The thing was, Tony, I pitched it before to you guys, but we just didn't have the audience. But now you've seen the traction the morning steam is getting. We're very excited, and this is going to be, a little bit of a game changer to get more interaction with Team Steam. And
Yeah, and
that
there is
will
there
be
is there is video there in the Discord. Maybe you can do some streams with some of the members, and then of course, and at that point, okay, you feel comfortable. Okay, let's put you on the YouTube show. There's I think that's another way like I said, we do something and it takes a life of its own, right?
That's right, and that's what you're going to get. And yeah, who knows? We might do like in-game stuff, especially. There's a pretty big football game coming up here in a couple of weeks. Everybody watches, the world watches, so we might have something like that.
March
One
Madness.
thing,
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, well yeah. One thing that can be done is like a little party too. We could have a Super Bowl, a virtual party type of thing, and everybody's gonna be watching the game, and I'll be watching it probably by myself, so I might as well invite all my new friends
Yeah, you got
from
your.
the
Everyone
morning
has a
team.
phone devices. If you're at a Super Bowl party, just have your phone. You'll get two parties at once. There you go. That'll work. All right. Speaking of party, the 76ers. Let's hope they're not. Well, maybe some may hope they're partying a lot because they got a day off in LA. But then the rain went away, so they were probably able to do some things. And it's always tricky with these teams that have the layover in LA. So anyway, the 76ers are on the road here facing the Clippers. Clippers laying a point and a half, total 223. This one is on TNT.
Yeah, the Sixers are coming off that game against the Lakers, and we saw what happened there. Sixers came in and got the win, and Russell tried to win the game, and LeBron never saw the ball. But note that game against the high-scoring Lakers, we saw what happened in the game yesterday with the Lakers. Always with these high-scoring games against Philadelphia, just 225 points. Now the Sixers have definitely been going way over. They're on a pretty hot streak right now. They're playing really well. They won versus LA. They didn't get the money. Remember, they were a road favorite in that one. They won against Utah on this trip, but they didn't cover that one. They were road favorites. So, Philadelphia has definitely been a team that's been going over the total, but I'm looking at it from the Clippers' perspective, right? They are the biggest under team in the league. Why is that? They're 3-20 to the under at home. I'm going to say biggest home under team, right? 3-20. Imagine that. 23 games at home. 20 of them have gone under. Kawhi Leonard will be playing in this game tonight. It looks like he's not even on the injured list. Now, Paul George is on the injured list, but the line has shifted since we were on with the morning steam this morning to the Clippers being the favorite. To me, that indicates Paul George will play in this game. But before you get too crazy, one of the things that I think with the Clippers when Kawhi is in there, we have our fun making fun a little bit of Kawhi with his, play when I want schedule, but he could be still he is one of the elite defensive players in the league, and with Kawhi, it's all about spacing. It's all about putting your teammates in the right position. If you watch Kawhi, he still scores also at a pretty strong level, but really makes everybody better defensively. I mean, if you just watch him on the defensive end and how he goes about it, it's not necessarily always about the steals or what it's the spacing, the guarding, and all that, and that's what makes the Clippers so good at home. He's still an elite player in my mind, and he makes the difference defensively. The Clippers have gone under in four straight and six of their last seven. The Clippers are in a bad way right now. They've won just two of their last 9 games, but those two wins have come in their last 3 ball games. They've been a little bit better of late. Now these teams are, you know, pace down, slow it down. You've got Philly 98 possessions every 48 minutes. That's 25th in the league. The Clippers are 22nd in the league, 98.4 possessions per 48 minutes. So Clippers average 14.8 seconds per possession, 24th in the league. The Sixers are 25th in the league at 14.9 seconds per possession. So you just have two teams with pretty strong defensive ratings still, despite the fact that Philly goes over in a lot of games lately. They're seventh in adjusted defensive rating with 100, allowing 111.8 points per 100 possessions. The Clippers are fifth in that category, allowing 111.4 points per 100 possessions. So when these two teams have met, it's been pretty much about the Sixers, 11-3 against the number, including 5-1 HES here in LA. So uh, I think that's what Minnie and I were kind of focusing on. We, had a pick on this game in the morning steam show, but I look to go under in this one with these two teams, Tony. I just think that when you have Leonard in the lineup, that's what makes a difference at home. That's why the Clippers go under in so many of these games. He often plays more home games than road games. Now, Joel Embiid probably will have a dominating performance, but he's not some shake and bake razzle dazzle guy going down the court. He works for his position, he fights for position, and against Zubats, need I say more? I mean, Joel Embiid can have a huge game tonight against Zubats. Harden, though, he might have the down arrow a little bit, and I think when he's got a guy like Tucker in the starting lineup, he's virtually a zero in the scorecard. Half the games he plays, we know what he's about as well. So I just have this one going under this number, Tony. It is pretty low, 223 or so right now, and with these two teams. I mean, that's that nowadays that's almost a low total, right? So probably end up in the two tens here, I would think, with these two teams. But only drawback: closely rated game could easily be in overtime with these two teams right now. The way they're playing and the fact that it's the Philly open -1. Now the Clippers are probably about -1.5. So no matter where you look. And I've still got this one. I've got to take my chances on no overtime because I've got this one paced way down. Sixers and Clippers. Uh, I'm not ignoring the fact that the Sixers have gone over in all those games of late, but just take note that they are an underdog now in this game. And despite the fact they've trended over this season, they are 5-7 to the under as an underdog.
There you go. We got Ramon here. 76ers Clippers under 223 in that tricky spot there with, they got rest. He said, they got the day off in LA. That's always a tricky spot there, with these teams. But it's a spot here where the Clippers are we're not that impressive as no rest here. They're playing right off the bat, so that's even another situation to look at here with this 76ers team. But anyway. Ramon, looking at this Philadelphia team, we are seeing Harden and Embiid starting to go off on some teams, but we can all now add John Wall to the injury report. The word on George is that he did practice yesterday, but that's still he's missed 5 games, so they're still concerned about that hamstring.
Yeah, I'm almost going off the line move, Tony, that maybe tonight is the spot for him to return. Don't forget, Paul George, a pretty decent defensive player as well. And the thing is, if he gets matched up, probably against Harden, that is still for Harden, probably one of his tougher matchups that he would face in that game. So hopefully, I hope that PG is in there. I know that we want to look to his scoring, but again, when you got the situation the Clippers are in, and you mentioned, some of those statistics about the back-to-backs and whatnot, and Philly being. I know they had the day off certainly, but right now I just think with these two. That trend is so big right now with the Clippers, and I just think you mentioned with PG the fact that the line had shifted. That to me is the indicator. We'll see when the injury report updates if he is in there. I mean, yes, he has been out for a little bit of a period now, but uh, I don't know. They got steam to the Clippers, and it also got steam to the under. So I feel like that's the indicator for PG playing, but we shall see. I definitely agree. We may be looking at a coin flip whether he's in there, but I would think it at least is a 50-50 proposition, and not less than that coming into the game tonight.
Yeah, late news here on this game is the fact that Melton's about 11 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 3 assists. Melton has now hit the injury report. He missed a shoot around this morning with an illness, although there's word that he's expected to play. So an illness here, under the weather here in Milton. Oh, go figure, a day off there, a day off in LA, coming back with an illness.
Yeah, I have graded 9 points tonight with my ratings. So uh, Melton is a guy who definitely, especially when you got a guy, uh, you know, in, for example, when Tucker's in there. I mean, he really just provides one-dimensional play as far as his play is concerned. I mean, if he gets in the scoreboard, it's a 50-50 proposition for him sometimes to get a couple of baskets. So it would be good for them to have Melton. I heard I'll update my ratings there and see how we come out with that. But I've got Melton slightly below his average tonight. In that one, so Clippers have their issues too. You mentioned Wall, Luke Kennard also questionable, and that's the thing about the Clippers. They're one of those teams, almost in the same position as the Lakers, just to, make the playoffs, get in there. I don't think anybody can, when you put this lineup, the best lineup they have out on the floor, they can compete with all the teams in the West, especially right now where no one team is dominant. I mean, you can look to Denver a little bit, but they definitely have their own set of weaknesses. So the West, maybe the power currently is in the East, but I think in the West you have a group of teams that I don't know if there's one clear standout among the teams in the West, especially after some of the shifting we've seen. I mean, you're going to be expecting teams, new competitive teams such as the Grizzlies, the Pelicans. Can these teams, come along in the playoffs? They're definitely going to be, the teams that kind of earn higher seeding, even though they're virtual newcomers to the top teams out west. And then you'll have other teams such as the Lakers and the Clippers that might you know, end up having to play those road games, needing to win a road game to shift the tide. But you can't put it against either of those teams at all to go in, steal a game from one of those young teams, and end up with the home court advantage. And I think those veteran players, the LeBrons, the Kawhis, know that, and just getting to the playoffs is the key. That's why they pace themselves with the rest, if you will. We do see LeBron stepping it up a little bit. I think he's feeling a little bit of heat because of the fact that they're so close to that play-in spot that maybe it'd be nice to get a little bit higher uh, in the ranks, if you will, of the playoff teams. So that's why I think we're seeing a few more performances from LeBron. I've talked about it on the morning Steam show, Tony. To me, it's kind of looking like, not that point spread is involved, but I think people know when you're in a game where you're competitive to win or a game where you're overmatched, and even your participation might not, even if you're LeBron James, that your participation might not be enough in the game, and that might be the spot where he's actually taking those games off and making sure he's in there in the games that they can win. But the
Yeah,
thing
well, the
is here,
problem the problem with the Lakers, and we saw that yesterday in yesterday's game, is the bench sucks. I mean, the bench is totally
oh
garbage.
no,
I mean,
oh
they build a lead with the starters. The bench comes in and gives up these big runs to the Rockets. That means your starters are forced to work hard, exert a lot of more energy to get that lead back up again and get cushion. I mean, it was just obvious in the game yesterday.
oh, and the Lakers are still going to ride, with LeBron, and he'll be faced to, have to play all those minutes. The guys have to come in. You've got to, you know, give guys a break and whatnot. But again, LeBron's kind of held the franchise hostage a little bit, because of his, salary commands and whatnot. And I think he knows the position that he's in. I mean, look, the Lakers have had to end up developing some players. Bryant has been, bit of a revelation that he's been able to come on and play so well. I mean, we didn't know where the Lakers' other guys were going to, come from right now. So that's why you see a guy like Reeves, different players that you're not familiar with, and that's going to be the problem for the Lakers in trying to get all the way to the finish line. It really doesn't seem like there's any chance at all. Of course, there's been some talk trying to bring in, some other players here if they can, but nobody wants to come in and play for a cheap salary with LeBron. So that's the issue there, but they just got to get in. But Clippers might be in a
It's
little bit
not
better
easy.
position.
It's
Yeah.
not going to be
Oh
easy.
no,
They
no.
got they got the Thunder ahead of them. I forget. I was looking at the standings the other day, but the Portland
Yeah. No,
doesn't look
them.
like they. I mean, Portland plays good enough at home where I don't think they're going to fall. It's going to be a big disaster for them. I think it's going to be tough for the Lakers even to get in, even when Davis gets
Don't
back.
yeah, and don't let me. Yeah, thank you, Tony. Let me just rephrase that. Right, Thunder, Pelicans, Grizzlies. Right, who'd have thunk it? Right at the beginning. Yeah, these were young teams we're expecting, but they've all overachieved and looking terrific. So not only that, how about the Thunder on the road right now? I mean, these guys look like a super playoff contender. The way they keep coming back and beating good teams, coming
Yeah.
back from double digits down on the road. So all those teams playing good, but more or less, I'm just discussing the philosophy of these veteran-led teams and what they're going to do and what they're approaching, trying to get into the playoffs and earn their way and have a chance, have a spot. And that's the way they're definitely going about it. It seems obvious to me. So,
Yeah,
would be
I
nice.
looked at the standings yesterday before they beat the Rockets. The Lakers were only ahead of two teams in the Western Conference: the Rockets and the Spurs. That was it.
No, that's why I think you've seen there are spots where we've talked about, well, is this the rest spot for LeBron? He's in
No,
there because they kind of need it.
yeah, you
So,
can't take any. You cannot afford to lose these games to the Rockets. And if he wasn't in there, we just all you have to do is look at when he was out of the lineup, how bad the Lakers played. It was just disgusting. I know it's not. He comes with a high salary, but you got to develop players around him. We got the
oh,
70.
yeah, no.
You know,
Yeah, no, go ahead. But look, Palenka, what can you say? I mean, I don't know, you're in the job or whatever, and through his relationship with Kobe, maybe, and his relationship with the Bus family, and he's the man right now, and Jeannie's got distractions. She's getting
I
married.
go back to the years when I was, all my people I know in the media that cover the Lakers for years. It's always been the worst, and this comes from. There's been some talk. I know a lot of media people, and they interview players, and the players say things that can't come out in public. But here's what everyone agrees on: the Lakers had the worst scouts in the entire league for years. That's why they could never develop players. The very worst scouts, terrible draft picks, and it's just that's been the problem with the Lakers is their scouting system has been bad. They've not been able to develop players and fit roles that they need, especially in the bench. You just look at the Warriors. Look at some of the players they develop. They don't if they just don't develop players. And look at the bench. It's been like this for years with the Lakers. It does not look like it's going to get any better. All right, Ramon here on 76ers Clippers under 223. This one will have a start time here 10 Eastern time, the doubleheader game on TNT. All right, Ramon, let's take a look over at TonySpicks.com for today's action. Of course, you're doing great work here in the NBA here for the year 2023. Remember Ramon's year yesterday in the NBA. It really started to kick off here around this time and into the playoffs. 505 units of profit NBA here, all documented over at TonySpace.com. We got a good 3 months worth of data now in the NBA, and Ramon's ready to roll. All right, we got 4 on the card tonight from NBA, big college basketball cards, some NHL as well. What do you have going over at Tony's Picks? And don't forget the
Okay.
tennis.
NHL and NBA starting to move for me, no doubt about it. We're going to be heavy though on the college card tonight. Right now, that's where my focus is. I've got a 7-pack tonight. All those half the card goes off at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. So I put together a big package of 7 games in that block. There could be more. I mean, there's some nice, attractive games, but Mindy and I got pretty heavy in it with the morning steam team on some of those late games. Same over in the NHL tonight. Mindy and I were together on, I believe, 6 of the 8 games. So I've got nothing right now in NBA or NHL. It's all about this 7-pack of college basketball games that I'm rolling with right now for $35. So please consider picking them up over at Tony'sPicks.com. I might find a spot still in the NBA, gave you a nice free pick here. I feel pretty good about that one as well. And Minnie and I did get involved with the side in this game. So tennis right now. I just have a couple of a la carte plays. Probably get something together, but uh, Tony yesterday got a little weird in Melbourne with the weather. It started off with a heat delay that was several hours. And then once they hit the court for a couple of hours, the winds kicked up. They were having trouble even with the ball toss. Some of the players were, having to stop their serves, and then that was because there was rain coming in right after that. So they went from extreme heat, a couple hours of play, a bunch of wind that was making all the players mad. The umbrellas were flying all over the place. The leaves were flying all over the place on the outer courts, and then the rain came right after that and put another delay, except for the courts with the roof on it. They were able to continue a couple matches. So kind of a weather situation there, but I'm going to come back with a little bit more tennis tonight, and that package will be up probably before the start of play. But the matches themselves will probably be late into the evening. So package not up necessarily there because of my matches still to come are on there a la carte. Maybe I got to find one play together so I can at least get a 3-pack up there. And looking forward to some more great matches tonight. We've already saw the most dramatic match was yesterday. Andy Murray, the man with the bionic hip, beating Berrettini. Berrettini kind of fumbled himself into a loss there, but everybody is fired up to see Andy Murray. If he can just do anything, man, it'd be just awesome to see if he can make some kind of run. He would be the guy that the a casual fan will rally around if he could get into some of the deeper rounds here in Melbourne this week. Because he's still going, folks. I mean, he went through that surgery, all the injuries he's had, the problems with the hip, playing now with an artificial hip. That's pretty awesome. I think Minnie can appreciate that. I'm playing my slow pitch team, and we had a girl on the team with 2 artificial hips, and she was doing pop-up slides. So it's
Yep.
miracle of bionics, but still a great feat for Andy Murray in the Australian Open.
Well, I got a hiker buddy that missed was out for a year, got a replaced hip, and as good as new. He's hiking the 10,000 peaks. That's what I mean. So it's amazing.
He's a guy. So Murray's a guy that you can get excited about, and we're still we're still trying to finish the first round. So plenty of tennis to come over the next 2 weeks at the Australian Open.
There you go, guys. Get on board with Ramon Scott over at Tony's Picks. College basketball 7-pack on this big card is up for you right now, so go ahead and get on board with Ramon. Keep an eye here on the pick ticker. There may be some games not married to a package right now, so you could buy them individually there on the site. Or, of course, the longer-term pass. We like that 1-month all-sports pass. You get all of Ramon's premium plays for a month. Includes all his college hoops, his NBA, NHL, as well as the remainder of the NFL playoffs and Super Bowl. And don't forget about those peripheral sports. So Ramon is in action in tennis. We'll see Australian Open picks from him. We'll also see on the weekends MMA picks. We'll see a lot of UFC, occasional Bellator as well. I don't know if he does the other leagues, smaller leagues, but we often see Bellator, and we also see the UFC in there. So we document those. So go ahead and get signed up there with Ramon over at Tony'sPicks.com for the longer term passage, your best value. That will save you the most there. Of course, you could use the promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save 20% off. You can access Minnie's page by clicking. I'm sorry, Minnie, you can access Ramon's page. I'm looking at the chat and doing the show at the same time. You can access Ramon's page by clicking the link in the description. Click the All Cappers tab. Then you'll land on Ramon's page. Go ahead and get signed up. And of course, that 7-pack up there, or the longer term pass, or if you prefer, the pick ticker with individual games a la carte there for you. So you make the choice over at Tony'sPicks.com. All right, Ramon, we also put together a Twitter account for you over at Tony's Picks. Ramon, great show with the morning steam. We put together the Discord social media platform there for interaction with everybody in the chat. And, everyone's welcome there from the chat room into that community there. Well, there'll be some text exchanges. It'll create legs of its own. You may want to do some videos with Ramon. Make sure we can test your equipment before you guest on the show. That's probably a good place for that as well. So we got a lot going on here over at Tony'sPicks.com. A lot more in the future. You wait till you hear some of the things we're doing behind the scenes. It's amazing. So we're looking forward to this here, 2023. Ramon, and of course that morning steam show, as well as the Twitter that we put together for you over at Tony's Picks Ramon.
Yeah, and thanks for mentioning the MMA. I did sweep the card this week, including taking Strickland as an underdog in that main event. So right now, hit eight out of my last 10 MMA plays. Thanks for mentioning that, Tony, with the UFC stuff, because we did sweep our 3 pack this past weekend. So yeah, head on over to at Tony's Picks Ramon, and we will have a play there in the game between Wyoming and Air Force out in the Mountain West. And also, don't forget to check out my other 2 videos embedded here on the Tony's Picks website, including a pick in the big game, Tony, and the leaderboard pick today. It comes in that big game between Nevada and Boise State. The loss of San Diego State against New Mexico has breathed a little bit of life into the race in the Mountain West early. Looked like San Diego State was getting away from them a little bit with that 4-0 start, but they lost to New Mexico. Big night for Nevada and Boise State. Pick up my free pick on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel with my leaderboard report every day, except I took a day off this past week when I was pissed off about the Chargers and went to bed. But uh, other than that, every day is pretty much 7 days a week with our leaderboard report. I just come in, talk about all the handicappers. I review the 24-hour, the 7-day, the 30-day, the 1 month, who's doing hot on the leaderboards. It's kind of a neat feature, and I throw a free pick in there as well, and our sponsor video as well on the Tony's Picks website. Pretty much, you can only the best place to get it is on the Tony's Picks website, and have a free play for you there as well from college basketball, and that one comes to you in the game tonight between I want to say. Um, Boston College and North Carolina, an early start, so just 3 hours away or so. So go to Tony'sPicks.com and pick up that one as well. And also Morning Steam. We're going to be right back at it with Mindy and I tomorrow with another show. And pro basketball, college basketball. That's one thing we're going to do with the Discord, Tony. Maybe this is my uh, project with Tony's picks, because I just want a little bit more interaction. I want to be able to, uh, you know, hand out some more information, because I feel like I've got all this information and I don't have a lot to do with it. I mean, of course, I can make my plays and whatnot, but I feel like I can pass along a lot of great information, and I think we'll get a lot of people signing up through our morning steam because they can hang out with me if they want. And I think that's going to be an important feature as well. So, yeah, morning steam, Saturdays through Thursdays, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, 6 a.m. Pacific. We're definitely going to be there still every day, but we will have for you, the Discord coming up. We're just firing it up, so don't, get all, where is it, what's going on? But I would imagine by the weekend, everybody who wants to sign up will be able to get in there and get approved so that we can be ready to go. I'd like to be able to be in there by Saturday with a bunch of people who might be looking for more picks, because Saturday, is such a difficult. If they're really hardcore college basketball fans, for example, Tony, it is a monster. And I expect to be bringing a lot of information, probably a lot of picks in there on Saturday, taking requests. And that's the other thing that Mindy and I have planned is, it's tough, a little bit tough. Mindy's great; she's always ready. When we got these games on the fly, the viewers are suggesting preview another game. We're trying to get it done in a 90-minute window. We often go over, and it's a little bit long. So maybe if we can have the chat go into the Discord and say, hey, tomorrow, can you do this game, this game? Give them a little deadline, a little bit to get the games in so that Mindy knows, because she usually sends that out to me early evening, what we're going to cover the next day. She's the executive producer of the show, so we're ready to go. And then I'm pretty much graphics on the fly when we're getting the games thrown at us on the show. No problem, but it just affects a little bit of my concentration, a little bit. And by the time I get to the pick, I'm going really stock off my notes, and I don't have the best handicap. But it doesn't matter. We've been still hitting the winners. Yesterday we were 7-7. Mindy and I were really bummed, Tony. We ended our streak over on the morning steam. Get this, Tony, out of the 16 day or 14 days so far in the month. We've produced 11 winning days on the show. Two of them were clunkers, so that's why we're not quite on that 30-day board. The 2 days that we had were like, I want to say 3 and 8 and, 3 and 7, something like that. Whatever, they were bad. But yesterday, 7 and 7. The other days have all been winning days. We were on a long, week-long winning streak before we threw in a 500-day. Lost the juice yesterday, so feel really good about it because it's all about the chat. We make the pick, but the chat's coming in, and when we get them on board, flash their pick on the screen. The community aspect of it. That's what you said. That's what you meant by taking a life of its own. We didn't know that the show was going to take that direction, but it has. So, meaning I handicap the games, but the chat comes in, and sometimes I'm trying to, you know, go to either the side of the total because I don't want to say I'm going against Mindy or I'm just going to pass on the game. I want to give the best information possible. So I just wait for the chat a little bit, see what they like. If that was the side I was leaning, I go for it. And if not, maybe I just pivot to the total and give out my opinion on that. But it really is hyper interactive, I would call it, Tony, with the chat because I'm flashing those picks on screen. I know might look a little seamless, but I'm here, with my handicaps in front of me, with my notes, with my phones, with my computers, and actually clicking on each good comment that I see during the show, just like you said you were doing right there. And I've learned from watching you, Tony, it's not an easy task. You just make it look easy, brother.
I appreciate that. And Ramon does good work as well. Guys, we're looking for Ramon's daily leaderboard pick. Just click the premium picks tab at tonyspace.com and you'll go right to the video there. It's up there every single day. That's
Ramon
one of the
Scott,
videos that Ramon puts up there on tonyspace.com, so you can get that up there. Leaderboard play, we kind of goes over the leaderboards and you'll get a pick at the end there over at Tony's Picks. So check that out there. And we also mentioned a sponsored pick as well on the homepage of tonyspace.com. So just click the homepage and you'll also find a free pick there, as we've got a sponsored video pick up there from Ramon. And you'll find it there over here at the bottom right for you there. So free pick of the day. So go ahead and check them out there at Tony's Picks. All right, Ramon, as always, great having you on the show. Keep up at work and we'll talk with you again tomorrow.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
You got Ramon Scott here on Game Day Picks. Guys,